As we age, something subtle but profoundly important starts to change in our bodies: our sleep. Many seniors find themselves waking up multiple times a night, unable to stay asleep, and feeling drained the next day. But here's the surprising truth: deep restorative sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's one of the most powerful anti-aging tools we have. Poor sleep accelerates cellular aging, worsens metabolic health, and even weakens our immune system. The good news? There's emerging evidence that a simple, natural spice you probably already have in your kitchen, turmeric, might help restore deep, uninterrupted sleep when used correctly. Today, I'm going to show you how turmeric, backed by real science, can calm your nervous system, balance your hormones, and help you experience deep, rejuvenating rest in just a few nights. One of the most underappreciated aspects of aging is the way sleep quality changes as we get older. It's not just that seniors tend to go to bed earlier or wake up sooner. The real problem lies in what scientists call sleep fragmentation, when you wake up multiple times throughout the night, sometimes without even realizing it, and never quite reach those deep, restorative stages of sleep your body needs. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's one of the most powerful accelerators of biological aging that researchers have uncovered in recent decades. When you're young, your brain spends much of the night cycling through different sleep stages: light sleep, deep slow-wave sleep, and rapid eye movement, REM sleep. Each stage plays a unique role in your health. Deep sleep, in particular, is when your brain performs its night shift. During this time, toxins are cleared away, memories are consolidated, and cells carry out repair processes that are vital for longevity. The body releases growth hormone, strengthens the immune system, and lowers inflammation. In short, deep sleep is when your body and mind rejuvenate. But as we age, the architecture of our sleep begins to change. Studies from places like the University of California, Berkeley, have shown that adults over 60 experience up to a 70% reduction in deep slow-wave sleep compared to younger adults. That's a staggering number, and it's not because older adults need less sleep, it's because the aging brain, particularly regions like the prefrontal cortex, loses some of its ability to generate the electrical slow waves necessary for restorative sleep. Why does this matter? Because without enough deep sleep, the body shifts into a state of chronic stress. Levels of the stress hormone cortisol remain elevated, blood pressure creeps upward, inflammation becomes persistent, and perhaps most concerning, the brain loses one of its key defenses against aging, the nightly cleanup system known as the glymphatic system. This system, discovered only in the last decade, flushes out metabolic waste products from the brain, including beta amyloid, the sticky protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Poor sleep also disrupts the delicate balance of hormones that regulate appetite and metabolism. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, goes down, while ghrelin, the hormone that stimulates hunger, goes up. The result? People sleep less and eat more, often craving sugary or high-carbohydrate foods. Over time, this contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes, conditions that are already more common in older adults. On a cellular level, fragmented sleep affects the very aging clocks inside our bodies, the epigenome and telomeres. Research published in journals like Sleep and the Journal of Neuroscience shows that people with chronic sleep disruption have shorter telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of our DNA. Shorter telomeres are associated with faster aging, higher risk of chronic diseases, and earlier mortality. Another striking finding comes from the field of chronobiology, which studies our internal clocks. Nearly every cell in our body runs on a 24-hour rhythm, known as the circadian cycle. Sleep is a cornerstone of this rhythm. When we wake up frequently at night or fail to get deep sleep, these cellular clocks fall out of sync. It's like an orchestra where each instrument is playing at a slightly different tempo. The result is metabolic chaos. Cells don't repair themselves properly, energy production falters, and immune function weakens. Cognitive health suffers as well. Deep sleep is when the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, communicates with the neocortex to transfer short-term memories into long-term storage. When this process is disrupted, you might notice difficulty concentrating, remembering names, or learning new information. Over years or decades, this nightly deficit can add up, contributing to cognitive decline and increasing the risk of dementia. Mood and emotional regulation are also tightly linked to sleep quality. The amygdala, the brain's emotional center, becomes hyperactive when we're sleep deprived. That's why people who wake up multiple times at night often report feeling more anxious, irritable, or even depressed during the day. And for seniors who may already be coping with loneliness, health concerns, or major life changes, poor sleep can magnify feelings of stress or sadness. The immune system takes a hit too. Deep sleep enhances the production of cytokines and other immune factors that fight infections and repair tissues. That's why you're more likely to get sick after several nights of bad sleep, and why vaccines tend to be less effective in people who are chronically sleep deprived. For older adults whose immune systems naturally weaken with age, this decline in immune resilience can be especially dangerous. Perhaps the most compelling evidence of the sleep-aging connection comes from large-scale population studies. For example, research involving tens of thousands of participants has shown that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night, or whose sleep is frequently interrupted, have higher rates of cardiovascular disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancers. On the flip side, those who maintain regular, high-quality sleep tend to live longer, healthier lives, with lower rates of cognitive decline and chronic illness. So when we talk about aging gracefully or extending health span, the number of years you live free from disease, sleep isn't optional. It's one of the foundational pillars alongside nutrition, exercise, and stress management. Unfortunately, because the aging brain naturally struggles to maintain deep, continuous sleep, many seniors find themselves trapped in a cycle. Poor sleep leads to worse health, and worse health further disrupts sleep. This is why researchers and physicians are increasingly looking for safe, natural ways to restore healthy sleep patterns in older adults. Pharmaceutical sleeping pills may knock you out, but they rarely produce the same quality of deep, slow-wave sleep the body truly needs. What we want are interventions that work with the body's natural systems, calming the nervous system, lowering inflammation, and resetting circadian rhythms. And this brings us to why natural compounds like turmeric are attracting attention. Emerging evidence suggests that by reducing inflammation, balancing stress hormones, and supporting brain health, turmeric may help address some of the root causes of fragmented sleep, not just mask the symptoms. But before we explore how turmeric works and how to use it effectively, it's important to recognize just how deeply connected sleep and aging really are. When we think about turmeric, most people picture the bright yellow spice that gives curry its golden color. But in recent years, this humble root has emerged as one of the most studied natural compounds in the world of nutrition and medicine. Scientists have discovered that turmeric, and specifically its active compound curcumin, does far more than flavor food. It has powerful biological effects that reach into nearly every system of the body, and for seniors struggling with fragmented sleep, its potential role is especially intriguing. To understand why turmeric matters for sleep, we have to step back and look at what's happening inside the aging body. As we age, our levels of chronic low-grade inflammation rise, a process scientists often call inflammaging. This silent, smoldering inflammation damages tissues, disrupts hormones, and interferes with the normal signaling pathways that keep our bodies in balance. Sleep, unfortunately, is one of the first casualties. High levels of inflammatory cytokines, such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, have been linked to insomnia, restless nights, and poor sleep quality in older adults. Turmeric enters the picture here because curcumin is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatory compounds we know of. Dozens of studies have shown that curcumin can reduce levels of these pro-inflammatory molecules in the body. By calming this internal fire, turmeric may help remove one of the key obstacles to deep restorative sleep. In other words, instead of simply forcing the brain to shut down, as sleeping pills often do, turmeric appears to work at a deeper level, addressing the root cause of why sleep is disturbed in the first place. But inflammation is only one piece of the puzzle. Stress plays a massive role in the sleep struggles many seniors face. When you wake up at 2 a.m. with your mind racing, or find it impossible to drift off at night, stress hormones are often to blame. Cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, follows a daily rhythm. It should be high in the morning to wake you up and low at night to allow you to rest. As we get older, this rhythm can become flattened or disrupted, leaving cortisol levels too high at night. And high nighttime cortisol is essentially a biochemical signal telling your body, stay alert, stay awake, there might be danger. Here again, turmeric shows promise. Research has found that curcumin can help modulate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis, the system that controls cortisol release. By bringing this system back into balance, turmeric may help lower nighttime cortisol levels, signaling to the body that it's safe to relax, recover, and enter deep sleep. Another fascinating area of research involves turmeric's effects on the brain itself. As we mentioned earlier, aging brains struggle to produce the slow, synchronized electrical waves needed for restorative sleep. Some studies suggest that curcumin can increase levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports the growth and repair of neurons. Higher BDNF levels are associated not only with better cognitive function, but also with healthier sleep patterns. Essentially, turmeric may help rejuvenate aging brain circuits, making it easier for the brain to generate the rhythms of deep sleep. Pain is another hidden enemy of sleep for many seniors. Joint stiffness, arthritis, or muscle discomfort can cause frequent awakenings at night. Curcumin has been studied extensively for its analgesic pain-relieving properties. Clinical trials in people with osteoarthritis, for example, have found that curcumin supplementation can significantly reduce pain and improve physical function, often with fewer side effects than traditional pain medications. By easing nighttime discomfort, turmeric may help eliminate yet another barrier to uninterrupted sleep. Beyond these direct effects, turmeric also interacts with neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that regulate mood and sleep. Animal studies have shown that curcumin can influence levels of serotonin and dopamine, two neurotransmitters involved in relaxation, mood stability, and the sleep-wake cycle. While human research in this area is still emerging, it raises the possibility that turmeric may help create a neurochemical environment that favors calmness and deep rest. Another layer to consider is turmeric's role in oxidative stress. As we age, free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells accumulate faster than our antioxidant defenses can neutralize them. This oxidative stress is closely linked to both aging and sleep disturbances. Curcumin is a powerful antioxidant. By reducing oxidative damage in the brain and body, it may help protect the delicate structures that regulate sleep, from the pineal gland that releases melatonin to the neurons that control circadian rhythms. Speaking of melatonin, there is preliminary evidence that turmeric may support the body's natural production of this sleep hormone. Melatonin not only regulates when we fall asleep and wake up, but also has antioxidant properties of its own, protecting mitochondria and DNA from age-related damage. Some studies suggest that curcumin can help restore normal melatonin rhythms disrupted by stress or inflammation, indirectly supporting healthier sleep patterns. Importantly, turmeric accomplishes all of this without the side effects often seen with prescription sleep aids. Sleeping pills can cause morning grogginess, dependency, and in some cases even worsen cognitive decline over time. Turmeric, by contrast, works with the body's natural systems rather than overriding them. This makes it an appealing option for seniors looking for a gentle long-term solution rather than a quick chemical fix. Finally, what makes turmeric especially exciting is its multi-targeted approach. Poor sleep in aging adults isn't caused by a single factor. It's an interplay of inflammation, hormonal changes, oxidative stress, pain, and brain aging. Most treatments address only one piece of the puzzle. Turmeric, through its wide-ranging effects, touches many of these underlying causes at once. It reduces inflammation, balances cortisol, supports brain health, eases pain, fights oxidative stress, and may even help restore melatonin rhythms. Few natural compounds have such a broad spectrum of action, backed by so much scientific research. For seniors lying awake at night, frustrated and exhausted, this means turmeric isn't just another trendy supplement. It represents a scientifically grounded, biologically plausible way to restore the conditions the body needs for deep, healing sleep. And as more studies emerge, the case for turmeric as a tool for healthy aging and for healthier sleep continues to grow stronger. To truly understand how turmeric can help seniors regain deep, restorative sleep, We need to look beneath the surface and examine what's happening inside the body when this golden spice is consumed. Turmeric isn't magic. It doesn't act like a sleeping pill, knocking you out in a blunt, artificial way. Instead, it works with the body's own biology, nudging multiple systems back toward balance, the kind of balance that makes deep, uninterrupted sleep possible. This is why researchers around the world are so fascinated by it. Turmeric doesn't just mask symptoms, it addresses root causes. When you consume turmeric, the real star of the show is a compound called curcumin. Curcumin is what scientists call a polyphenol, a natural plant compound with powerful biological activities. But here's something many people don't realize. Curcumin by itself is not easily absorbed into the bloodstream. That's why traditional medicine, especially in India, always paired turmeric with black pepper and healthy fats. Peppering, the active ingredient in black pepper, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, and fats help it pass through the intestinal wall. Modern science has confirmed what ancient cultures seemed to intuitively understand: for turmeric to work, it must be consumed the right way. Once absorbed, curcumin travels through the bloodstream, reaching tissues throughout the body. One of the first systems it interacts with is the immune system, where it switches off pro-inflammatory genes and turns on anti-inflammatory ones. At the molecular level, curcumin inhibits a signaling molecule called NF-φB, which is like a master switch for inflammation. When NF-φB is overactive, as it often is in older adults, it keeps the body in a constant state of alert, pumping out inflammatory cytokines that disrupt sleep and damage tissues. By calming this system, turmeric helps quiet the internal noise that keeps the body from relaxing into deep rest. But the story goes deeper. Curcumin also influences the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis, the command center for the body's stress response. This axis controls cortisol, the hormone that tells you to stay awake and alert when danger is near. In many seniors, cortisol rhythms become disrupted. Instead of peaking in the morning and falling at night, cortisol levels stay too high well into the evening. That's like having a car engine that never idles, always revving even when you're trying to park. Curcumin helps recalibrate this system, lowering nighttime cortisol and allowing the body to shift into a rest and repair mode when the sun goes down. There's also compelling evidence that turmeric interacts with the neurotransmitters in the brain that regulate mood and sleep. Animal studies suggest curcumin can increase levels of serotonin and dopamine, chemicals associated with feelings of calm and well-being. Why is this important for sleep? Because insomnia is often fueled by a brain that won't stop worrying. By gently boosting these neurotransmitters, turmeric may help create the mental and emotional conditions for sleep to come naturally rather than being forced. Another way turmeric works is through its impact on oxidative stress. As we age, our cells accumulate damage from free radicals, unstable molecules that attack DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. This oxidative stress doesn't just accelerate aging, it also disrupts the brain circuits involved in sleep regulation. The pineal gland, for instance, produces melatonin, the hormone that signals when it's time to sleep. If oxidative stress damages this gland, melatonin levels can fall, leading to sleep difficulties. Curcumin's antioxidant properties protect these sensitive tissues, potentially preserving melatonin production and helping restore normal sleep-wake cycles. Let's not forget about pain, one of the most overlooked reasons seniors wake up at night. Arthritis, joint stiffness, and muscle aches can all fragment sleep, even if you're not fully aware of it. Turmeric works here too. By inhibiting inflammatory enzymes like COX-2, curcumin reduces the production of prostaglandins, chemicals that cause pain and swelling. This is the same pathway targeted by some pain medications, but turmeric does it gently, without the gastrointestinal side effects associated with long-term drug use. The result? Less discomfort at night and fewer awakenings due to pain signals reaching the brain. Curcumin also has intriguing effects on the gut-brain axis, the communication network between your digestive system and your nervous system. The gut produces about 90% of the body's serotonin, which influences mood and sleep. Inflammation in the gut can disrupt this serotonin production, leading to both digestive problems and sleep issues. Turmeric's anti-inflammatory effects in the gut may help restore this balance, supporting healthier serotonin levels and indirectly better sleep quality. On the cellular level, turmeric activates NeuroF2, a protein often called the master regulator of the body's antioxidant defenses. When NeuroF2 is switched on, it triggers the production of enzymes that neutralize free radicals and detoxify harmful compounds. This cellular cleanup process reduces the kind of oxidative stress that accelerates brain aging and disrupts sleep-regulating centers. It's like giving your cells a nightly maintenance crew to keep everything running smoothly. Finally, there's evidence that curcumin can influence brain plasticity, the ability of the brain to form new connections and repair old ones. Studies show it can boost BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports the growth and survival of neurons. Higher BDNF levels are associated with better cognitive function and healthier sleep patterns. Since aging naturally lowers BDNF, turmeric may help counteract this decline, keeping the brain circuits involved in sleep flexible and resilient. All these effects, lowering inflammation, balancing cortisol, boosting neurotransmitters, protecting the brain from oxidative stress, easing pain, supporting gut health, and enhancing brain plasticity, work together in a coordinated way. That's why turmeric seems to help with so many aspects of health at once. It doesn't just knock you out for the night. It helps rebuild the internal conditions your body needs for deep restorative sleep to happen naturally. And this holistic approach is exactly what makes turmeric so exciting for longevity researchers. Aging is complex. Sleep disruption is complex. Yet here we have a natural compound backed by hundreds of studies that addresses multiple layers of the problem at the same time. It doesn't treat sleep as an isolated symptom, but as part of a bigger picture, the interconnected web of inflammation, stress, hormones, brain health, and cellular aging. This is why scientists are calling for more clinical trials in older adults. The early evidence is promising, the mechanisms make sense, and the safety profile is excellent. For seniors who want to avoid the pitfalls of pharmaceutical sleep aids, turmeric represents a gentle but powerful way to restore the body's natural rhythms and reclaim the deep sleep that aging so often steals. When it comes to turmeric and sleep, one of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that simply sprinkling a little turmeric on food now and then will deliver all these benefits. The truth is, like most things in health and longevity science, how you use turmeric matters as much as whether you use it at all. This isn't about taking megadoses or chasing some magic bullet. It's about understanding the biology, using evidence-based strategies, and working with your body's natural rhythms so that turmeric actually reaches the tissues where it can help restore healthy sleep patterns. The first thing to understand is that turmeric contains hundreds of bioactive compounds, but curcumin is the one most studied for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and neuroprotective effects. Unfortunately, curcumin has a major limitation. It's not well absorbed by the human digestive system. Studies show that when you consume plain turmeric powder, very little curcumin actually makes it into your bloodstream. This is why researchers emphasize something called bioavailability, how much of a compound is actually available for your cells to use. The traditional Indian approach got this right centuries ago without even knowing the molecular details. In Ayurveda, turmeric has always been combined with black pepper and some form of healthy fat like ghee or coconut oil. Science has now confirmed why this works so well. Black pepper contains piperine, a natural compound that can increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Fat helps too because curcumin is fat-soluble. It dissolves in fat rather than water, allowing it to pass through the intestinal wall more easily. So if you want turmeric to help improve sleep, you need to use it in a way that maximizes absorption. A simple, practical way is to make what's often called golden milk before bed warm milk, or a plant-based alternative combined with turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a bit of healthy fat like coconut oil or almond butter. This delivers curcumin in a form your body can actually use, while also creating a soothing bedtime ritual that tells your nervous system it's time to wind down. Another option is curcumin supplements, which often come in formulations designed to boost bioavailability, such as curcumin phytosome or curcumin combined with piperine. If you choose this route, it's important to follow evidence-based dosing rather than assuming more is better. Most clinical studies use doses between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of curcumin per day, often divided into 2 doses. For sleep specifically, a smaller evening dose may be enough, since the goal isn't to flood the body but to gently support the systems involved in relaxation, stress regulation, and inflammation reduction. Timing matters too. If your goal is better sleep, taking turmeric or curcumin in the evening makes the most sense. Here's why: inflammation and cortisol levels naturally rise throughout the day and should fall at night. Many seniors with sleep problems have cortisol levels that stay too high in the evening, keeping the body in a state of alertness. By consuming turmeric after dinner or about an hour before bed, you're giving it a chance to exert its anti-inflammatory and cortisol-lowering effects right when your body needs it most to prepare for rest. But timing isn't only about the clock, it's also about consistency. The benefits of turmeric build up over time. You can't expect to use it once or twice and suddenly sleep like you did at age 20. The studies on curcumin's effects on inflammation, mood, and cognitive function typically last several weeks to months. That means seniors looking for sleep improvements should view turmeric not as a quick fix, but as part of a nightly routine, a gentle nudge toward better health that compounds its effects over time. Another factor to consider is quality. Turmeric is widely available, but not all products are created equal. Some powders are contaminated with heavy metals or adulterated with cheaper ingredients. If you're using a supplement, look for brands that provide third-party testing and standardized extracts, ideally listing the percentage of curcuminoids on the label. For culinary turmeric, sourcing from reputable suppliers ensures you're getting a pure, high-quality product without unwanted additives. Now let's talk about pairing turmeric with other sleep-supportive habits. Even the most powerful natural compound won't work well if the rest of your lifestyle is fighting against it. Turmeric works best when combined with good sleep hygiene, dimming lights in the evening, keeping a consistent bedtime, avoiding heavy late-night meals, and reducing caffeine intake after midday. The anti-inflammatory and calming effects of turmeric complement these habits, creating an environment where the body can naturally shift into restorative sleep. There's also a fascinating interaction between turmeric and exercise. Moderate physical activity, especially earlier in the day, improves sleep quality in older adults by helping regulate circadian rhythms and lowering evening cortisol. But exercise also causes temporary increases in oxidative stress and inflammation as muscles repair themselves. Curcumin has been shown in some studies to reduce post-exercise inflammation and soreness. That means using turmeric in the evening might help the body recover from daily activity while simultaneously preparing it for a night of deep rest. For seniors taking medications, it's worth mentioning that turmeric can interact with certain drugs, particularly blood thinners and some diabetes medications. While turmeric is generally very safe, it's always wise to check with a healthcare provider before starting any supplement regimen, especially if you have chronic conditions or take prescription drugs. Finally, we can't ignore the psychological aspect of using turmeric for sleep. There's something powerful about turning it into a nightly ritual, a warm golden drink sipped slowly under dim lights, perhaps combined with a few minutes of meditation or reading. Our brains love cues and routines. Over time, this ritual itself becomes a signal to the nervous system. The day is ending. It's time to relax. Combined with the biological effects of curcumin, this creates both a physiological and psychological pathway toward deeper, more restful sleep. In summary, the right way to use turmeric for sleep isn't complicated, but it does require attention to detail, proper absorption with black pepper and healthy fats, appropriate timing in the evening, consistent use over weeks, high-quality sourcing, and integration into a broader lifestyle that supports circadian health. When these pieces come together, turmeric transforms from a simple kitchen spice into a scientifically grounded tool for restoring the deep, healing sleep that aging so often erodes. When it comes to any health claim, whether it's about a new drug, a diet, or a natural compound like turmeric, I always ask the same question: what does the science actually show? Not anecdotes, not hype, but real data from well-designed studies. And in the case of turmeric and sleep, the research is still emerging, but what we have so far paints a fascinating picture. Most of the studies on turmeric and its active compound, curcumin, didn't start out by looking at sleep directly. They were focused on inflammation, pain, mood, and brain health. But again and again, researchers noticed something interesting. As these factors improved, so did sleep quality. It makes sense when you think about it. Inflammation, stress, anxiety, pain. These are some of the biggest reasons older adults can't sleep through the night. If curcumin reduces them, then better sleep might follow naturally as a side effect. Let's start with inflammation, because that's where the science is strongest. Dozens of randomized controlled trials, the gold standard in medical research, have shown that curcumin supplements can significantly lower markers of inflammation in the body, including C-reactive protein, CRP, and pro-inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. High levels of these molecules are linked not just to chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes, but also to sleep problems. A study in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews found that people with chronic insomnia had elevated inflammatory markers compared to good sleepers. Another study in biological psychiatry showed that inflammation can actually alter brain regions that control sleep, including the hypothalamus and brainstem. So by lowering inflammation, curcumin is indirectly addressing one of the root causes of poor sleep in seniors. Next, let's talk about pain, especially joint pain from arthritis, which affects a huge percentage of older adults. Pain at night is one of the most common reasons for fragmented sleep. In 2016, a meta-analysis in the Journal of Medicinal Food reviewed 8 randomized trials and concluded that curcumin was as effective as some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, at reducing arthritis pain and improving physical function, but without the gastrointestinal side effects. Several of those studies also reported improvements in quality of life, which includes factors like energy, mood, and sleep. Again, the connection is clear. Less pain means fewer nighttime awakenings and deeper, more continuous sleep cycles. Stress and mood disorders are another piece of the puzzle. Chronic stress keeps cortisol levels elevated, which disrupts the body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells us when to be awake and when to sleep. Anxiety and depression are also strongly linked to insomnia, especially in older adults. Here, curcumin's effects on the brain come into play. A landmark 2014 study published in Phytotherapy Research found that curcumin supplementation significantly reduced symptoms of depression in people with major depressive disorder, performing as well as some prescription antidepressants in certain measures. Animal studies have shown that curcumin can boost levels of serotonin, dopamine, and brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, all crucial for mood regulation and, by extension, healthy sleep patterns. Then there's the neuroprotective angle. Poor sleep is both a cause and a consequence of neurodegeneration, the gradual loss of brain function that can lead to diseases like Alzheimer's. During deep sleep, the brain's lymphatic system clears out metabolic waste products, including beta amyloid, the sticky protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Fragmented sleep means less cleanup, and less cleanup means more accumulation of these toxic proteins, which in turn further disrupts sleep. It's a vicious cycle. Curcumin appears to help break this cycle. Research in animal models of Alzheimer's disease has shown that curcumin can reduce beta amyloid plaques, lower brain inflammation, and even improve memory and cognitive function. A small human study in 2018, published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, found that adults aged 50-90 who took curcumin for 18 months had significant improvements in memory and attention compared to those who took a placebo. While sleep wasn't the main focus of this trial, better brain health and reduced inflammation inevitably support healthier sleep architecture, the way the brain cycles through different sleep stages. Another fascinating area of research involves oxidative stress, the imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in the body. Oxidative stress damages cells and accelerates aging, and it's been linked to both insomnia and sleep apnea. Curcumin is a potent antioxidant. Studies in journals like Free Radical Biology and Medicine have shown that curcumin can neutralize free radicals and boost the body's own antioxidant enzymes, such as superoxide dismutase SOD and glutathione peroxidase. By reducing oxidative stress, curcumin may help protect the brain regions and hormonal systems that regulate sleep. But what about direct evidence on sleep itself? While fewer studies have looked specifically at sleep outcomes, the ones that exist are promising. A 2020 randomized controlled trial in the Journal of Clinical Psychopharmacology examined curcumin's effects on adults with anxiety and sleep complaints. After 8 weeks, the curcumin group reported significant improvements in sleep quality, reduced sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep, and fewer nighttime awakenings compared to placebo. The researchers attributed these benefits to curcumin's combined anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and anxiolytic anti-anxiety effects. Animal studies add further support. Experiments in sleep-deprived rodents have found that curcumin supplementation can normalize sleep-wake cycles, reduce stress hormone levels, and even protect against memory deficits caused by sleep loss. While we can't always generalize animal findings to humans, these studies provide valuable clues about the biological mechanisms at work. Safety is another critical factor. A 2019 review in Pharmacological Research analyzed dozens of clinical trials and concluded that curcumin is remarkably safe, even at doses up to 8 grams per day, though most benefits occur at much lower doses. For seniors, this safety profile is important because many prescription sleep medications carry risks of dependency, cognitive side effects, or falls. Turmeric offers a gentle, well-tolerated alternative that works with the body's natural systems rather than overriding them. Taken together, the scientific evidence suggests that turmeric and curcumin improve sleep not by sedating the brain but by creating the internal conditions necessary for healthy sleep: reduced inflammation, lower stress hormones, less pain, improved mood, enhanced brain health, and protection against oxidative damage. It's a multi-layered approach, which is exactly what you need when dealing with something as complex and multifactorial as sleep in aging adults. Of course, more large-scale, long-term clinical trials are needed to confirm these effects and determine optimal dosing strategies specifically for sleep. But the convergence of data from inflammation, pain, mood, and cognitive studies gives us every reason to believe that turmeric can play a valuable role in helping seniors regain the deep, restorative sleep their bodies and brains so desperately need.